Hi, I'm Wesley Etheridge, Executive Director at Camp Vernon in Newport News, Virginia. And today we have Mr. Bill Hall, Vietnam era photographer. He's going to share a little information about how it was during the Vietnam era and what he saw in regards to trauma and that type of thing. So Bill, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I came out of the service out of Special Forces. I went to work for U.S. News and Report magazine as a photographer, labman photographer. 7 years later, the war in Vietnam got started, and I thought I was the most qualified person in the world to do it because I had over 500 parachute jumps, and thought I could go cover the war.
Okay. So Bill, were you in the Marine Corps or Army?
Army Special Forces.
Okay.
The Green Berets.
Okay. So you were kind of like the photographer.
No, when I went to Vietnam, I was a civilian.
Okay.
I paid a one-way ticket to Bangkok, got off the plane in Saigon. I had $30 in my pocket when I got off the plane. I had no idea where my next dollar was coming from. And walking down the street the next day, somebody called my name out of a bar. And I'm going to see somebody, and they gave me a safe house I could live in for a while. And I started going out and got credentials, went out to cover combat.
Okay.
And the hardest time was getting into combat, because if you asked me if I was a combat photographer, I'd say no, because I was in combat, but I couldn't get in as much as I wanted to get into.
Okay.
But I was 3 Medal of Honor winners when I won the Medal of Honor.
Okay. So can you share some of your photos, Bill?
Yeah,
What's the first one there?
this is my first Thanksgiving in Vietnam. We're up with 1st Cav, and they said, go out and see the mountain yards, who are the native people live in the mountains who help Special Forces, were the soldiers. And the tribe chief had died, and this was his wife. And she was at the funeral type thing. Probably the most worst meal I ever had in my life, because they took a water buffalo, threw it in a fire, and cooked it. But they took the blood from the water buffalo and mixed it with their rice. And I'll never eat that again in my life.
So like blood pie, something like
Yeah,
that. Huh?
something with blood pie.
Okay.
But they gave us wine. We had a big crock of wine on the ground, and we got drunk, and that was fun.
Okay. All right.
And
And what year was this?
This was in 1966,
Okay.
Thanksgiving Day.
All right.
This one is a little kid. We're down the Mekong Delta, and her house had been set on fire, and in the basement, not in the basement, but in a little thing underneath the ground inside the house, which is all dirt. She and her other daughter and kids survived till theoretically the fighting was over. And this kid died within 2 hours.
Wow.
There's another photograph here with her other sister.
Okay.
I don't have it. I apologize.
It's okay.
Fine.
Let's go to the next.
This is a Navy SEAL. The first time SEALs had said, let the world know that they were in Vietnam and operating. When the service, the group that was in Special Forces, we trained the first group of SEALs, and they went on their own training program after that. And this just happened to be one of the guys there, and they went out and put a little exercise on for us to show what they would do during combat. They wouldn't let us go out in combat with them.
What year was this, Bill?
This was in 67.
67?
I was there from 66 to 68.
Okay. All right.
And this was up in with the 1st Air Cavalry out outside of Pleiku. And what's burning in the truck is a ammunition. When you fire artillery rounds, there's somebody to pack the distance by how much ammunition, how much firepower you put inside it. But what you don't use, you have to get rid of. And this was, they were taken to the dump, and this just caught on fire. And when I was photographing this, they kept saying, run, run, run. And it wasn't until he went past me that they told me they were yelling at me, because this thing was going to blow up, and they didn't want me anywhere near it taking place.
All right.
This is probably one of best photographs I like, because the Army took us down to the Mekong Delta.
Mhm.
They had killed something like 25,000 rats.
Mhm.
And there was a big problem because the people wanted to eat the rats and we wouldn't let them eat them because we poisoned them. And
Mm.
therefore, they couldn't use it for food. And when the 20 journalists got off the helicopter, these two kids were inside the fort, behind barbed wire. And I was the only photographer that took the photograph
Mm.
on it, stuff like this.
Okay. 25,000 rats, huh?
Yeah.
Wow. What, you use napalm or?
No, they're just poison.
Okay.
But then, the Vietnamese were very upset because one of the things we're doing down there was taking in the Army military latrines set over the ponds.
Mm-hmm.
And they were down there because they opened up a latrine base, the base the military people used for the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And the local people were upset because the fact is, that means they wouldn't be going out in the pond where the fish got big so they could eat them.
Mhm.
And so the fact that they had gotten smaller, and that's the
Mhm.
reason we went down there.
Okay, what's
This
this?
photograph, two things. When I took the photograph originally, it had been used in the New York Times Magazine,
Okay.
newspaper, and I
Mhm.
just happened to have a clipping of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just recently entered it in the Veterans Photo Contest here in Washington DC.
Okay.
I entered one
Oh, this
veteran
one.
era,
Well, this one here, over here.
and one
Okay.
veteran era, and one in color, and one in black and white.
Okay.
Of the three photographs I entered, I got two first, one in the Veterans Contest and one in the color contest.
Okay.
And then second in black and white.
Okay.
And
Outstanding, Bill. So, Bill, do you have these for purchase? Do you sell these to folks?
I have a website called Images by Bill Hall.
Okay.
Which my partner and I, Tawana Edwards, who's a
Mhm.
poet, writes poetry to go with my photographs.
Mhm.
We combine and put a site together where
Mhm.
we can show where it's going.
Okay.
And right now, my site basically has a little bit of the Vietnam War era stuff and a lot of stuff about flowers. And I thought it was very interesting when I got interested in back of doing photographic work again,
Mhm.
that I picked up flowers from combat to flowers. I just thought the jump was fantastic.
Mhm.
And that's something which I really involved in this respect.
Okay.
And the concentration, I wish I could cover the war again, the way I'm covering flowers today.
Mhm.
I would have a different perspective about anything I've done. You know, my Vietnam era stuff has been in World Photo Contests
Mhm.
and stuff like this.
Okay. So again, what's your website again, Bill?
It's imagesbybillhall.com.
Imagesbybillhall.com. And you
Right.
said anybody can go there and they can purchase some of your photos.
They're all for sale on the site.
Okay, Superman. I appreciate coming to Bethesda, Maryland to speak with you today. It's gentlemen that like you that keeps us aware of what veterans did in the past. And I thank you for it. Okay?
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Appreciate it.